Upon reflection of what happened yesterday, I believe it was a really good overall team win. They got 12, I believe 12 hits on Rivers. Could be more after I saw it, but I think the actual number they sent out there was 12. They got a couple sacks on him, not too many. Stat sheet won't show it. They really rattled them. The defense was strong again, so that's good to see. I do have to talk about pretty much maybe the only, one of the few downfalls in this game, which was Sandejo taking out Rhodes. I know it wasn't intentional, but still, concussion. I think it is for Rhodes. They're saying he could come back for Denver next week, but I'm not entirely sure. That's weird. So that could be a major blow. But on the bright side of it, Waynes was okay. He didn't allow anything too bad. He had a pass breakup. He had, I think, 5 total tackles with 4 of them being solo. So it's not that bad. Well, we're sticking with defense. Greenway. Did not see that coming from him. That 91-yard pick 6. That surprised me. I didn't think he'd even be on there in passing downs. So I'm surprised it wasn't Kendricks and Barr. Not, oh well, it is what it is. That worked out fine, though, so I'm okay with that. And offensively, Peterson's back, I think. He looked a little bit slower, but he looked slower last week, and he looks faster, so he looks like he's getting up to speed here, which is good. That's always a bueno. So he's coming back. We could still use some O-line help, I think. And I know some people are freaking out over Bridgewater's stats. Let's not ask him to do too much. We do have AP in the back. So as long as we have him, we do not need to ask Teddy to throw for 300 yards a game. And if we don't have to do that, why do that? Just because would you guys prefer him to have the stats rather than win? I know I've seen some comments where where people are upset that he is not, where he's being a game manager per se. Well, it's well, that's what he has to be right now. As long as we have Peterson, we don't need to force him to be that catalyst kind of guy. So, it's not needed. So why do it? I don't think we have the receiving corps to make him a catalyst just yet. I don't think Mike Wallace is a great number 1 receiver. I think he's a solid 2. We don't know what Charles Johnson is. We know Wright's not a number 1, and we definitely know Patterson's not a number 1. So, and I think Diggs is probably a slot guy. So maybe we start looking at. I know receivers actually going to be something we look towards in the draft again, where a lot of people are going to be wanting to draft one early. But I say we need to go O-line, specifically guard, because Khalil doesn't look that bad. I think with Loadholt, he's on IR, and then we have Clemmings to back him up, and Clemmings with his time being, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up shipping Loadholt somewhere or just cut ties with him after this year, pending on the progress that Clemmings makes. I'm not going to say that he does just leave no matter what. So if Clemmings continues to play well, wouldn't surprise me to see them cut ties with Loadholt in some form or way. Now, but the guard situation, I think, needs to improve. I not liking the Mike Harris thing going on so far. I think we could use an actual guard. I know he's huge and it should work, but I don't know. I think I'm a little hesitant to judge the line overall though, because we are missing John Sullivan. So I'm gonna just reassess that once he gets back into the lineup. But as of right now, I'm not liking that Mike Harris thing. But at receiving, but anyway, back to this. Bridgewater, I don't think can be a catalyst yet because of our receiving core and our O-line. But we can give the ball to Peterson and feed off the play fakes and get those chunk plays. Now, The interception that Bridgewater threw was a floater. That's not. I don't like the floaters. But there was also like a 29-yard pass that Rudolph dropped that should have been a touchdown. So it comes with a grain of salt. Rudolph's a little inconsistent, but at least he's healthy. That's good for us. So I just think we need a little bit more. I think it's going to all gel together at some point during this year. Just, I don't know when. Hopefully next game, because Denver has a great defense this year. And they're going to focus in on Peterson. So maybe like we see that 8-9 man box again here coming up. And maybe we can just take advantage of all the speed that we have on the outside in Mike Wallace, Jarius Wright, Charles Johnson, Patterson. So, yeah. Maybe I think they need to stop making Patterson what he is not. Patterson is not a number one receiver. He is not a guy who's going to run the full route tree. He's more of an X Factor weapon type of guy. He is going to be the guy who catches your screen pass and hopefully goes for huge yardage. He'll go in the backfield. He'll take a sweep or two. He'll go back there. He takes some reverses. He'll do that kind of stuff. He can return. I don't think he is a number one receiver, but I think he does have a role on the team. I don't know why we won't use it, especially coming into this Denver game. I think he could be a huge factor of it because they have not used it thus far yet. And against a defense like that, maybe we can use some end around, some reverses, some other things going on to Patterson, like throw him in the backfield and maybe throw him in the backfield with AP. That might throw some things off. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did some of these things just because it would throw off a defense that Denver has. They're top 10 in practically everything right now. So it's a good defense. And then Manning doesn't scare me for next week, actually. But continuing on with this last game, we do not need Bridgewater to be this catalyst that some people want him to be. We don't have the people for him to be that. So I say just keep feeding Peterson the ball. Let's make him a game manager for at least this year. So as long as Peterson's there, he's going to be a game manager. That's what he's going to have to be. He just has to not mess things up. And as long as he doesn't mess it up, we're good. So I know we want to limit the turnovers. He needs to be a little bit... He made some kind of throws the other day. So it would be nice to see him not, force some things. He's been trying to force things this year more, which I don't like. He needs to just take what the defense has given him more often than not this year, like he was last year. That's what I liked about him last year. So With the defense, though, it's going to be good. I'm feeling this defense. I feel like week 1 was an outlier at this point because we now have 2 weeks where this defense is just practically shut down offenses. So it's not like they're bad offenses. Detroit's a little skeptical right now, but San Diego's not a bad offense. They are able to score points, and a lot of them. So I think it's a good team effort. Hopefully Rhodes will be back. And if Rhodes is not back, we need Waynes to step up even more than he did last week, covering Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, because I know Newman does not have the speed of a 25-year-old man anymore. So I don't think he can keep up with him. But I also don't know if Manning can throw that far as he needs to throw it for that. His age is catching up with him as well. But Newman hasn't been bad. I just have my doubts on those deep balls with him. I don't know. It's in the back of my mind. I don't know if that's just like a pet peeve of mine or something that everyone else is worried about. That's just my thing. So there was that. And that will be all. Farewell till next time.